Israel. Again. This time. This time.
Israel is still being Israel.
Who knew? This time on Whispers of a Dark Future in the year of Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Okay, now,
Kamala Harris.
the more you talk, the longer it takes. The more you talk, the longer it takes for the intro to start. The little
What do
music
you
thing.
mean? I thought
No.
you can make it do. Okay, whatever.
Hold on.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Okay, now that the intro music is done, thank you for waiting patiently. In real time, by the way. None of this is edited, it's all real time. We're gonna talk about the 12-day war, as Trump called it, between Iran and Israel. Piper Tompkins, can you tell us what happened? What was going on? Like, what's the deal with
What's the deal with Israel?
yo, what's the deal with Iranian and Israeli airplane food?
Yeah. So basically, what happened is Donald Trump pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal that the United States had established under Obama in his first term. By all accounts, this is despite the fact that Iran was complying with the deal. Okay, so now in his second term, he's trying to make up for this by negotiating another deal. He's the guy, he's the, art of the deal. Donald Trump, he does deals. Which, I mean, it's just silly when you think about it. He destroyed a deal that was working in his first term, and now he has to renegotiate another deal in his second term. Because
that's what USMCA. He was like, NAFTA's bad, and then he put in USMCA, and then he was like, and then recently, a while ago, he was like, during this administration, he's like, whoever put in that USMCA thing is an idiot. It's a real dodo. It's a real doo-doo head. It's like, you did that, sir. You were the one who was the doo-doo head.
And MAGAs make fun of Biden having Alzheimer's, or dementia, or does he have?
It's cancer,
Parkinson's.
Actually.
Well, now he has cancer. Now he has cancer, but he also, before he had cancer, or at least before he was diagnosed, he also had Parkinson's. But anyway,
that's conspiracy. We don't know.
I mean, okay, if you think a neurologist on MSNBC saying he could diagnose Biden with Parkinson's from across the mall, if you think that's not, a conspiracy, all right, fine.
Hold on. When doctors diagnose you, do they take you to a mall and say, "Look, I need you to go across the mall," and that's how I'll diagnose you?
Yeah, well, I mean, you could ask maybe some of the Parkinson's specialists that were known to have been going in and out of the White House when Biden was.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say we're gonna ask Parkinson's, the neurological. We're gonna literally ask the condition.
So okay, he's trying to negotiate this deal with Iran. Meanwhile, Netanyahu has this 10-year obsession, at least years-long obsession with carrying out a strike to degrade Iran's nuclear capabilities. Okay? So, at the same time, Israel has weakened Iran, it's weakened Hezbollah, it's weakened Hamas. So, and that's like, the sort of main players in the axis of resistance. Axis of resistance is weakened, including Iran itself. Israel decides, you know what? This is actually a great time to go and actually strike their nuclear facilities. And so that's what Israel does. And that leads to this constant rocket exchange between Iran and Israel over 12 days. It's a conflict in the air. It's not on the ground. People were, of course, scared that it was going to be on the ground. I woke up to the headlines, thinking Israel really wants to destroy that region of the world. But
yeah, okay. When you woke up, the spinning headlines were hitting you in the face.
Literally, actually. But what do you call it? So, okay.
I don't know. What do you call it?
Your mom.
Whispers of a Dark Future is filmed in front of a live studio that eats people.
Anyway, so all of that happens, right? Then Trump gets in between them. First of all, Trump it's clear that the Trump White House basically starts distancing itself right when the strike happens, because basically this is like the worst thing that Israel could have done for the United States reputation, for the United States ability to make deals with Middle Eastern states, for the United States ability to make the deal with Iran that it scrapped, what was it, 10 years ago now or something? So, this was very bad for Trump. So he had to distance himself initially. Then, when it became clear that Israel was sort of locked in, okay, then Donald Trump does an about face and he's like, yeah, we're behind Israel. We're gonna Iran, you have to submit. And of course, and then Netanyahu does this completely sickening speech where he's like, the undefeatable friendship of Israel and the United States in killing brown people. Yay. And, both of them are using rhetoric that sounds very regime changey. So, it wasn't an actual war between Israel and Iran, wasn't necessarily out of the question. I mean, I think Israeli policymakers probably didn't want to go that far because they're already fighting. I mean, technically, they're fighting in multi-front war. Not really. It's on the verge of a multi-front war, right? They concluded a ceasefire with Hezbollah, but they're violating that, so who cares? And they're striking the Houthis every once in a while, although the United States is now doing that too. And they got the war in Gaza. Okay, so, and for 12 days, there was this nonsense with Iran, and they've traded strikes with Iran before this, so whatever. But, okay, so, maybe Israeli policymakers aren't frothing at the mouth morons that think they can just do whatever the fuck and it's going to work out. Usually that's what they are, but, in this case, I sort of doubt that they were that stupid, but I don't know. I mean, they can be pretty stupid. But, okay. So then Donald Trump gets in between them and he says, okay, well, no, we have to make a deal. We have to make a deal, blah, 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 blah. He, gets on TV and curses about the fact that Israel and Iran aren't obeying his deal. And then, as a result,
they don't know what the bleep they're doing.
Yeah, with the bleep. But as a result of his brokering, there's a ceasefire. Okay, and so the 12-day war ended. Luckily, without another Middle East war starting. But that's the gist of it, basically.
On the first day of the 12-day war between Israel and Iran, my true love gave to me
me
a Trump hat. On the second day of the 12-day war between Israel and Iran, my true love gave to me two. They don't know what the bleep they're doing. I'm not gonna do
two rocket strikes. Yeah. Well, also, but before we start commenting on the implications of what do you have to say about it?
It's not surprising, that Israel is just committed to it wants to be the worst state of the 21st century, I think. I think it's his competition, right? The US is up there, Russia's up there. I think Israel's just look, before this century ends, we want to be the worst nation state. So bad that if nation states start dissolving into something else, they're the reason for it.
Yeah. I can't really, I mean, honestly,
I want to also say, when this was going on, people were picking sides. I don't like I don't think I need to say this, but I don't like Iran. I don't like a theocracy or Republican, whatever. I don't like republics and I don't like theocracies. So, it's you put them together, still don't like it. But people were taking sides. There were communists, asterisk, whatever, saying Iran is an anti-imperialist power.
Imperialism. I love the anti-imperialism of fools. It's amazing.
And then people were they were like, you got to take Israel's side because Iran wants to blow up the world.
Yeah.
And
meanwhile, Israel striking nuclear sites.
Well, I love this. We got to give Iran democracy. It's yeah, you did that. You tried. Well, actually, you quote unquote did that. Hold on, wait. Hold on. You quote unquote did that when you toppled their government. I think twice. I know at least one of them. It was kicking out one king for another one. I'm pretty sure. When the Shah was in charge.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Iran under the Shah was not a democracy. It was like
No, it was like a monarchical dictatorship, basically.
yeah, I'd probably say an authoritarian liberal regime. I mean, it wasn't like they called it Little America. America was like, he's just like us, and then they're like, here, have all of our weapons because nothing bad will ever happen.
Yeah. I will say, I saw on Twitter people on TikTok being like, oh, well, you guys were talking about Masa Amini 2 years ago, or whatever it is. But now you're like against Israel bombing Iran. Curious. And it's like, bruh, why the fuck do you think bombing Iranian women is gonna liberate them? Are you how, like, are you huffing paint? What is that? Honestly, what is that?
We're gonna liberate you by making you viscera on the concrete.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, wow, okay. But anyway, I don't know. It's weird because Israel's posture during this war has surprised me. During the war in Gaza has surprised me. Not that it should have really, but it's just, to use a Jewish term, the chutzpah of, okay, we're like we're committing a genocide. Nobody is holding us to account for that. The worst they're doing is wagging their finger sometimes. And it's even a debate. Despite the fact that we're like killing children on people's social media feeds, there's still this fraudulent debate about whether it actually is a genocide.
Well,
what about how does this fit Dolus Specialis and Mens Rea and Destiny is going to debate Norman Finkelstein. Blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, children bleeding to death and starving to death on.
But look.
On TikTok,
those dying children, they want to know, what does death?
But so because of that, right? Israel basically now is like under this impression that it can just do whatever the hell it wants. And so, the stuff with Hezbollah in the last year where, it essentially invaded Lebanon without saying that it invaded Lebanon, killed people at an even more rapid pace than it was killing Palestinians in the Gaza war somehow, and then concluded a ceasefire, which they're violating now. So, they're doing that. They're doing heightened incursions into the West Bank. They're, they're attacking, Iran now, and they're carrying out this Netanyahu program of trying to degrade Iran's nuclear capabilities by force under this basically, weapons of mass destruction to electric boogaloo lie, basically. Oh, they're gonna have they're so close to a nuclear weapon. No, they're not. They don't even, regardless of how enriched the uranium is, they don't have the infrastructure for a nuclear weapon yet. That takes time to build. So we're not on the verge of a nuclear weapon, right? But so the point is, Israel just feels like it can do whatever the hell it wants. And that is a particularly dangerous situation. It's basically like, you want to talk about a rogue state, this is a rogue state. Israel doesn't care about basically anything other than its own territorial and ethnic objectives. And that is, regularly, states are terrible institutions, inhumane institutions. They rely on the expulsion and killing of civilian populations to exist. Israel, however, is completely untethered from basically any of the norms that have been used to rein in states over the past 200 years in terms of the violence that they do. Israel just disregards all of it, to the point that Israel is now the case in point when you want to point out how useless international law is. And so that means that this unofficial, this state with a nuclear arsenal, never mind enriching uranium. Oh no, the Iranians are enriching uranium. Israel has an undeclared nuclear stockpile. They're attacking whoever they want. This is not going to end well. It's a recipe for utter disaster. It's already utter disaster. It's already been baked. The recipe's been completed, but it's like more now. It's the people of the Middle East are just going to be enduring the incursions of this beast for the foreseeable future. And that's honestly unacceptable.
The cherry on all of this was Netanyahu presenting Trump with the fact that Netanyahu had petitioned Trump to get the Nobel Peace Prize for his involvement. He was like, I submitted your name and Trump was like, thank you, this is great, I love it, thank you, yes. no one loves peace like me. They say Donald. Donald, no one. They the Gandhi guy. Yeah, move aside because I love peace more.
No, but like that in particular is just amazing because first of all, of course, the only person who's ever going to nominate Donald Trump for a Nobel is going to be Netanyahu, right? But second of all, also, it's literally a war criminal nominating like one of the most authoritarian
You know what it's like?
presidents in memory, not like for a Nobel Prize. Like, what is this?
Yeah, it's
What
it's
is
like
going
it's
on?
like it's like Michael Myers awarding Jason with like the prize for saving the youth. You know, like huh?
Yeah, yeah. Also, in a in in a related headline, the special rapporteur, UN special rapporteur for Palestine and the occupied territories, I believe is her official title, who is vocal in her opinion that the Gaza war is a genocide committed by Israel, was just like sanctioned by the United States. She was sanctioned by the United States after the United States tried to demand the UN remove her from her position, and they refused. So they're sanctioning her now for simply saying that it's a genocide.
Wait, they're sanctioning a person?
Yeah.
What? Hold on, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought okay, hold on. Excuse me. I thought sanctions were things that you did on like countries, like entities.
Well, so for instance, Biden, yeah, it was Biden. Biden in sort of like look, I care. He sanctioned some Israeli settlers. Basically that means, when you're doing it to individuals, it's basically like, you're limiting how that individual can relate to your state. So for instance, in the settler case, I think their ability to like go to the US was basically revoked. I'm not sure exactly what it entails in the Francesca Albanese case, but yes, you can sanction individuals.
That's amazing. I think that's great. I love it.
Yeah. And it's like, okay. All right. I guess now what we're doing is we're just like using the force of the United States government to go after international humanitarian officials who disagree with us. I mean,
Why not? Like,
yeah,
after a while, when Trump does something bad, Bing's response is not, "Oh no, it's yeah, why not?" I mean, like, if you're gonna like,
yeah,
like it's like it's like when Hitler's like when they're all killing each other in the bunker, and Hitler like kills his dog, and it's instead of being like, "Oh no, I'm shocked that Hitler would do this," it's yeah, that makes sense. I mean, this person, the bar, it's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have any further thoughts?
Not that I'm comparing Trump to Hitler. I know.
America's Weimar. Look, we're in America's Weimar moment. Okay.
Weimar, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a Weimar.
Weimar moment is this universal thing that just happens to nations.
I was gonna write
Germany.
I was gonna do an essay on like why America is not Weimar Germany, but I felt like kind of insulted that I had to do that. Like feel like I was kind of lowering myself.
Yeah.
I kind of already did that when we did a thing on Russia. Oh no, I did why Russia wasn't Weimar Germany, but
All right, I'm actually kind of curious to see where the doomsday clock. Oh, sorry, what were you're saying something? You're cutting out a bunch.
Oh, I love it. I wonder what sometimes it'll keep the audio, but we're cut out. So I wonder. I wonder if it's
You need to keep like a part of that in if it does that.
Maybe.
Okay, wait. So let's see where the doomsday clock is now.
I thought it was 90 seconds to midnight.
That's what I think I heard. I read that in a book that's like from 2019 recently. So I don't know if it's like I want to know where it is after specifically the 12-day war.
It's 89 seconds to midnight is what it says.
Oh, great. Epic. So we're 80 we're that is how close we are to a nuclear apocalypse. So, there you go. Do you have anything further to say?
They couldn't like lower it more because there's still more of like the Trump term. They just lowered it a bit.
Yeah.
We talk about everything with the 12-day. I mean, so it was mostly an air war, right? It was
Yeah, it was an air war. There wasn't
No.
any boots on the ground. No booties on the ground.
Called the 12-Day War. I guess you get to name wars as they're happening now. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, I don't know, the thing to take away from this, I think, is that, like, and it's gonna be harder now that Trump is clamping down on it, but there's, like, pretty much, if you live in a Western country that has any kind of relationship with Israel, it's really, like, incumbent on you to do what you can to put pressure on your government to rethink its relationship with Israel. Like, that's the only way any of these governments are going to do anything but wag a finger, right? People need to be in the streets demanding, cutting funding, cutting support, etc., sanctions. So, I mean, that's the only way Israel is going to be even slightly immobilized, and it needs to be immobilized. Otherwise, it's just going to, like, the bodies are just going to keep piling. I mean, they're piling as we're talking. So, I mean, there's it's ironic because Israel is carrying out this basically colonial assault in a post-colonial world where colonialism is, like, at least, like, nominally, like, seen as immoral. But the irony is that it's doing it with the kind of military efficiency that even, like, the British Empire didn't have access to because of all the military technology that Israel has and all the support that it has from basically every Western government, even in light of what it's doing. So, yeah, like, the really important thing is a big point of activism for leftists in Western countries is pressure your government to rethink its relationship with Israel. Do you have anything to add?
Oh, for those who don't know at home, we're running this through Beings Connection and Beings in Space, so radiation terrible. Hopefully this. Hopefully, I look. I don't have anything else to say. I think we should just close up because I think hopefully things got saved. I don't want to have to do this again. Hopefully this is fine. But major chip hazard. Even being at a Blockbuster. That's it. Also, and then Piper, I'll do the patron thing because it's your turn now.
Wait, just tell people where to go.
Patron. Well, post comprehension. YouTube Patreon. Piper Tompkins YouTube.
Also, go to Red and Black Anarchists and read our articles on that website, as well as the articles from the many other worthy contributors.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You fix this in the context.